That's Sandra. You should meet her in person. She's a beautiful soul. But I want to tell you her story. I don't know if she'll mind. I mean, it's not like it's a secret or anything anymore. It's a story everybody knows about now. I think I'll just tell you anyway. Sandra is a music teacher. She's all about music. So she got a job transfer to a recreational club, a whole new town. Now, this club is so elite. It's got a golf course. It's got a polo field. It's got different classes for languages. And then it's got a class for music as well. So she teaches music. First of all, she sings like a nightingale. She's all about music. That's what makes her happy, really. So, it's up to the members to actually sign up to classes. And within the first month, almost everybody, even people that were not interested in music, signed up to Sandra's class. Because when she sings, it heals you. She's healing. She has that energy. Sandra's name went round the club. Everybody knew who she was. In about 2-3 months, she was already signing up for gigs and signing up for shows outside of the club. So she was making quite a lot of money. Apart from that, people wanted to be friends with her as well. No sooner did the eligible bachelor, Michael, hear about Sandra as well. Actually, he heard about her music. So he turned up at her class. He just wanted to listen for himself. Oof! He was blown away. And when I say eligible, he's fine. And single. Oof! Every girl wanted to be with him. But his eyes. He had eyes just for one woman. It was Sandra. So every day, he would turn up at her class with flowers, taking her to dates. All his friends could testify that Michael pretty much fell off the face of the earth after he met Sandra. Nobody could get in touch with him anymore. He couldn't hang out with his friends. He was always hanging out with Sandra. He wanted to be with her every day. Blimey. Did I forget to mention that Michael's a polo player? My bad. He's really good at it as well. Anyway, one day during one of his tournaments, Sandra was there. And Sandra met Susan. Or Susan met Sandra. Sandra met Susan. Anyway, Susan came to sit next to Sandra and they became friends. So they got talking. Oof, and they had everything in common. The first thing Sandra picked up on was Susan was very much like her. Or somehow she was like her. So everything Sandra liked, Susan happened to like as well. So somehow they got along and they became really, really great friends. Again, it's really hard to gossip sometimes. I'm trying to tell you guys the story, but I keep missing bits. Okay, just before the tournament, it was 6 months down the line, and Michael had proposed to Sandra. They were crazy about each other. So, this was right after he proposed, and his next tournament, she met Susan. Anyway, back to my story. So, she and Susan got so along. They were so close. Wow. What had happened was, Susan had everything in common with Sandra. And that really got to Sandra. So they did the same things. And Susan wasn't a music teacher, but she loved music and was looking to teach music as well. So Sandra opened up to her and started to tell her all about herself. Because, I mean, Susan was just one of those people that would tell Sandra all her secrets and everything. So Sandra felt comfortable with her. I mean, if she can tell me her secrets, then so can I. So Sandra started to say everything to her. While Sandra was chirping away in friendship, Susan understudied Sandra. She watched everything she did. The way she moved, she dressed like her, the way she put up her hair, the way she laughed, the way she sang. She started to watch her, understudy her, learn every detail about her, every single detail. But Sandra had no idea. Oh, well, I mean, she noticed they dressed alike. If you remember the clip at the beginning, she noticed the dress alike. But she thought it was just for fun. But no. One day, Susan invited Sandra to meet her man, Bob. I mean, Susan had already met Michael. They were all friends, so it's only natural that Sandra will be friends with her man as well. So Sandra agreed to go with her. They had a dinner date. So they were all going to go together. So they turned up at this restaurant. When they got there, Bob was waiting. So Bob invited them over to his room. She was shocked because she thought it was just a restaurant. Oh, so it's a hotel. Okay. So they went together and they had dinner. Whilst they were having dinner, Susan gets up and walks outside and then rushes back inside to say, oh, well, I'll be back in a second. And she disappeared. So Sandra waited for hours, waited for her. And at some point late at night, Bob, funny enough, was a gentleman. He later put her in a taxi and Sandra went home like nothing happened. But she was really upset with Susan, like, why would you abandon me? But then again, she was worried because, Susan was very much like her, so she wouldn't do that to anyone. Why would Susan do that? Right? So she called Michael when she got home, but Michael would not return her calls. Sandra walked into work the next day, and all the women gave her the evil eye. They avoided her. They didn't even want to speak to her. But the men, interestingly, blew whistles at her, made passes at her, which had never really happened. Yes, she's beautiful, and people did want to ask her out, but she was known as Michael's fiancée, so everyone stayed away. But that day was different. The men made passes at her, made sly remarks as well, but the women, they had hatred in their eyes. So she got to her class and she realized that most of her students were men. The female students didn't turn up. So even during the classes, they kept making sly remarks. And she was really upset, but she tried to keep her cool because she didn't understand what was going on. So she thought, okay, maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And the entire week went like that. But something funny happened. Because at the end of the week, when she wasn't giving up the coochie, the men faded away. One by one, they started to drop away. And they didn't come to her classes. Now, her job was dependent on how many students she had. And by week 2, she had none. So, she wasn't sure if she still had the job anymore because nobody would turn up at her classes. And then her gigs, one by one, dropped away. Michael still had not reached out to her. Neither did Susan. So at this point, she was really worried. She called up a close friend. And grudgingly, that one picked up the phone. And then she was trying to make sense of what was going on. Like, had anybody seen Susan? And the friend said, why are you pretending? We all heard what you did. You spent the night with Susan's boyfriend whilst you were engaged to Michael. Michael is everybody's sweetheart. Everyone loves Michael. And you're supposed to be his fiancé. Yet, you tried to steal your friend's boyfriend. What? That never happened. Oh. Now she understood why every day seemed like a walk of shame. Sandra heard that. She rushed to Michael's. She wanted to talk to him. What had Michael heard? On getting there, she opened the door and she saw Susan and Michael in the kitchen. Susan was making eggs and pancakes for breakfast in nothing but a t-shirt, the one she had gotten for Michael. They both looked at her and turned away, and Michael said something under his breath. If she could make out what he said, he had called her a slut. Oh my goodness. She was crushed. Oh, she was so crushed. This was the love of her life with her best friend. In the t-shirt she got him. A whole month went by. And Sandra could not stop the tears. She kept crying. She was depressed. But one day, she got up. And she was determined to face it. She wasn't going to go down like that. Even if she had to go down, it would be on her terms. Susan was not going to decide how she went down. So she got up and walked into work. Oh, it was horrible. It was a whole month later. And as she walked in, people laughed. People sneered. People talked. People gossiped. She may not be a teacher, but she was not about to lose her music. So she walked into work and then signed up as a student. Well, if I can't teach, I can use this opportunity to become a better version of myself and learn more about music. So she signed up as a student. Every day as she went, people laughed, people talked. And 2 months down the line, she witnessed Michael's engagement to her best friend Susan. Oh, did I mention? Susan had started to teach as well, music. And most of her students, of Sandra's former students, signed up with Susan. Maybe out of hatred for Sandra, or just out of pity. But they all signed up to Susan's class. And most of her gigs had gone to Susan as well. Well, I mean, it's only natural. She talked exactly like her. She acted exactly like her. She had her essence. She dressed like her and everything. So Susan had taken everything away from Sandra. Every single thing. She had stolen her identity, her essence. And she had made her nothing. The best part of this whole story is that a week before the wedding, Michael and Susan were out shopping. And Bob, if you remember Bob, ran into them and congratulated them. And then turned over to Susan and said, "Well, how's your friend Sandra? You know the one you left at my place the other night? She was really worried when you went off. Nobody knew where you went. You just disappeared. Oh, I had to put her in a taxi. You can thank me later." Can you imagine what happened next? Anyway, did you know to get the purest form of gold, you had to put it through fire? Also, to get diamond, you had to put it through pressure. Sometimes in life, to become the best version of ourselves, we have to go through adversity. We have to go through pressure. And sometimes we have to walk through fire. But the difference is, during the face of adversity, we're not supposed to crawl away and hide. We're supposed to be determined to make it. We're not supposed to lose our joy, because once you lose your joy, you lose your strength. You lose your strength to fight. Oh, I want that. Anyway, Sandra held on to her joy. She faced the adversity. And one day, a few months down the line, because of her hard work and dedication to her class, the music legend, the guru, decided to work with her. Today, she has so many albums out. Now imagine if pride had taken over and she had thought to herself, well, I'm a teacher. How can I go back to being a student? To become a better version of ourselves sometimes, we have to go back to the drawing board and learn. And be determined to make it, even if we have to go it alone. I do love you all. Have a beautiful week ahead. This is Time Out. Namaste.